Stuff with Jim and Muff and all the homies.
Here we are.
All
Stranger
the
danger.
homies, Jim. All the
All the
homies, Jim.
homies.
Okay, just want to make sure that
All the
you're
homies.
engaged. That you don't have an
All
I'm
the
gonna be
epileptic
homies.
like,
episode here. You should be engaged.
Epileptic episode, exactly.
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Today is Sunday, December 14th, in the year of our Lord 2025, and we're here to talk about Heisman Mendoza.
No, we're not. You might be.
Well, Jim has
oh,
already tuned out
it's
for
a
the
sports
episode.
show. And someone won the Heisman, so I feel like we have to talk about it.
I'm
Whether it
not
was the
talking about
person you wanted,
Heisman Mendoza. That's
whether
stupid.
it was the
Whoever
person you
coined
wanted
that
to
phrase.
talk win or not, Jim, we still talk
Stupid.
about it.
All right, and also a lot of key injuries in this week's NFL breakdown, and a dynasty potentially in ruin. As always, thanks everybody for interacting with us on the socials at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding ding.
Get that bell on, and we're still making a climb to 100 subscribers on YouTube. We're going to give away.
Prizes.
We will be giving away prizes at 100 subscribers on YouTube. Until then, make sure you interact with us on the Instagram, on Facebook. Get in there, get it done. We
Like,
start.
can we figure out who the can we figure out who the 100th subscriber is when they get there? Like, can we give them like something special as the 100th?
No, because they should have been subscribed earlier.
What we should do is go back
Thank
to
you,
who the
Nate.
first one was.
Thank you.
They
Nate.
will be in the running. They will be in the running to get something. Nate's
All right.
point well taken. All right, let's get into the leadoff. Starting with the Heisman Trophy ceremony, as Fernando Mendoza, gets
Stupid.
it done this year, wins the Heisman, has
Get it done.
What do you mean he didn't get it done?
Did he win,
Did he or
Jim?
did he not just beat Ohio State?
He had lower stats than everybody else.
Did he or did he not just beat Ohio State?
He did not beat Ohio State. The team
Did
beat
his
Ohio
team?
State. It's a team
Was
sport.
he part of that
Yes.
team?
Yes.
So you want the Heisman to go away for good then? We don't need a Heisman unless somebody from Ohio State wins it because it doesn't matter then.
I didn't say that. I think there are
Then
more
why do we not give Fernando
Diego
Mendoza?
Pavia. I think Jeremiah Love. Hell, the Texas Tech guy could have won it over Heisman Mendoza.
So Jim, you're saying objectively, this is an issue for you
Yes.
because he did not have the best stats.
I think he didn't have the best stats. I don't think he's a Heisman level quarterback.
So this conversation comes up every year. Is a Heisman an MVP type of trophy or is it a stats trophy?
I think in this situation, he's neither.
So what is he then? Who should have won it then, Jim, if not him?
If on this list, I think him and Sane are about tied. And I think Diego Pavia and Jeremiah Love would go higher than him.
Let's see.
As the most outstanding player in college football.
I don't think anybody on this is the most outstanding player on college football.
Somebody has to win, Jim. You can't
Yeah.
not give the award.
Jeremiah Smith.
Is he open?
What has he done this year? I don't care if he hasn't. If you're saying on stats, then he's not getting stats by being double covered.
Wait a minute. Muff asked me who the most outstanding college football player is in college football.
Which would be the Heisman.
That to me is Jeremiah Smith, who got slighted on the Blitnikoff, by the way.
So I would like to point out that 2025 stats, Fernando Mendoza had 33 touchdowns. Julian Sane had 31. And Julian Sane had 300 more yards than him total.
When have I brought up Julian Sane, Alex?
You said they were ranked exactly the same.
I said to me they're about tied. And neither one should win the Heisman.
So who
Neither
wins
one.
it? Which one? No, not between those two. You have to choose one.
But down to those two?
No, I said you have to choose one of college football.
Jeremiah Smith is the most valuable player in college football.
It's not the most valuable player award.
Okay, so
Never has been, never will be.
what are you defining the award as? We do this every year.
I think they define it as the most outstanding player in college football. I think that is the definition.
Is that what you want me to decide?
That's what they decide.
But you're asking me a question. Am I using that criteria?
That's the question I asked you.
Jeremiah Smith.
As the most outstanding player in college football.
Yes.
Didn't even make it to the stage.
So there are 6 receivers that have more yards and more catches than Jeremiah Smith.
But we're not basing it on stats in this process.
Well, that's why I'm arguing with you that either way.
He also sat out an extra game and a half.
That's his choice.
That's his problem. That's his problem, not the voters.
That's why we don't base it on stats.
Jim, they always talk about Heisman.
But your argument,
Jeremiah Smith's Heisman moment.
And you would have. Well, I mean, there's plenty of Heisman. I don't know. No, you're right.
This
Nate.
year,
I will argue. I agree with your argument, Nate. That there's not a Heisman moment.
I don't know that he set himself up well this year.
I agree with that. But the most outstanding player, most valuable player, because I don't like Diego Pavia in this list. Without Diego Pavia, Vandy doesn't do shit.
Oh, I agree with that. He carried
Mendoza, there's Mendoza light on that team. Julian saying they're like 3 deep at quarterback. I don't know about Texas Tech. I would assume they'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah Love, I would also say they'd still probably be okay. So to me, Mendoza is not the most valuable. The most valuable player on their team, the guy who shows out is Pavia in this situation. But he doesn't win the cookie cutter commercial because he's a lunatic. They're not going to give him the award.
Well, it's true that he did not do himself any favors potentially in the draft process coming up. We'll see how this pans out over time with some of his responses. I mean, he's got bravado. He's got the demeanor. He has the swag of NFL quarterback, but I don't think that plays as well in for the Heisman Trophy. That is 100% agreed upon by me. So we had Diego Pavia in second, Jeremiah Love in third, Sane in fourth, and that was where I stopped looking at that. Jacob Rodriguez, ironically, this is ironically, or if this just doesn't make any sense, had more first place votes than Julian Sane. That was odd that I saw that pop up.
The way the awards have gone all year, the whole award season, not that odd. I think the whole thing is a sham. It is a popularity stunt. How can the Big Ten vote that Jeremiah Smith's the receiver in the Big Ten, and then the USC receiver gets the Blitnikoff? Like, the whole thing's a joke at this point.
Yeah, towards the Heisman, transfers have won it the last 4 years. Goes to show maybe that's part of the story that they're trying to highlight. People finding their way to new teams, achieving new heights, taking the team and the programs to new levels, and maybe that's part of the storytelling situation we have going on here.
Or if you want to win, go to a team that will actually play you. Don't worry about obstacles of trying to beat the guy in front of you. Go somewhere where you have a chance. But you're the Heisman.
What was that? What was that outburst about?
You're the Heisman Trophy winner. You're the best ever, but you couldn't beat the guy in front of you at the team you were at, so you left.
To win the Heisman. I mean, it works out for you if that's the end goal.
It's asinine to me.
Jim, what do you think these teams of the guys like Mendoza, for example, the guys at Cal, what do you think they think of him now?
I don't think I think they're pissed off that, he left, but they're on to other things.
Well, so you talk about him being a starter. So let's think of a guy who wasn't in your scenario, like Baker Mayfield, walk on at Texas Tech, played a little bit, but really wasn't like a bona fide starter, goes to Oklahoma, and then wins the Heisman.
I think they would. I think they resent Baker Mayfield in that situation. I think if Sand would have won, the guys in Alabama would have been pissed off.
But what if he wins a national championship?
What's your point there, Nate? I'm trying to figure out.
Because he was at Bama, wasn't playing at Bama, and then he transfers out and goes and wins a championship.
I think those guys are still like, you could have been here winning it.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted, Alex. I think you're muted. There you go.
Could he have though? Because if he was like good enough to play and win the national championship, wouldn't he?
And that's the counter argument.
Like,
I agree.
Like, I don't fault someone for leaving if you're not playing. Like in today's society. So I've already made it abundantly clear. I hate the transfer portal. I think I'm with you on sit your turn and wait. But if you are going to transfer, then I can't fault them for using the situation in place if you're not playing. I get irritated more often when it's like, oh, I want to go somewhere else for more money. But like I can see, like, if they're like, hey, look, I'm at Alabama, I'm not playing, I'm going to take a step back and go somewhere that needs a quarterback.
I just have an issue with the Heisman and the hyping it up for transfers. I have a hot issue with the vague criteria of all these awards. They kind of lose their luster in the day of the NIL. I don't really care. Like, they're not even the Heisman. And I get, well, you're Ohio State homer. Yes, I got it. But I watched the Baker one. I watched the Reggie Bush one, and I liked it. I liked the pageantry of it. This is just, it lacked all pizzazz for me. I just don't care.
Yeah, would you have cared if Jeremiah Smith was there?
It would have made a little bit more sense to me. He's a freak. Like, he's just a freak.
Yeah, he is. That is, I don't think, going to be an argument. The question is, you have to be that freak and then perform on the field in a way that allows you to be highlighted, shown in this way, and to stand out amongst the rest. I'm not saying he doesn't stand out, but you have to have some stats to get there. Like,
if you'd have said to me, listen, Jeremiah Smith, you didn't make the cut, you're not getting flown to New York because your stats, you didn't have those moments this year. Fine. Mm-hmm. But the other jabronis that we're sending are of equal caliber and have the stats to back it up. I'd be like, yeah, cool.
I think to me, Mendoza won because he didn't screw up. Like, Diego Pavia had games that weren't good.
Yes.
But that's part of it. But to me, what I see in this is he is a consistently good player. Week in and week out, he did what his team needed to do to win every game they played, period. He goes out on a high, beating Ohio State, whether you think he did it himself or not. He's controlling that game as the quarterback.
Muff,
the other guys all had faltered. What?
Muff, who was the quarterback in 2002 for Ohio State?
Was Smith? I don't know.
No, damn it.
In 2002?
Yeah.
With Miami? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
No idea.
Nuclear physicist was his major.
It was post Krenzel.
So you remember his major name?
Craig Krenzel. Okay.
Was it Krenzel? Okay.
Craig Krenzel, undefeated. Goes into the national championship against Miami, but they're giving out the Heisman. Okay. He has the same career as Mendoza. He just didn't screw up. He pulls out a win against Purdue. He had a couple close ones, just like the Penn State game of Indiana. He just got the job done. In no way should Craig Krenzel win the Heisman. He just didn't fuck up. I forget who the 2001, 2002 Heisman Trophy winner is, but not Craig Krenzel.
So there was probably somebody that year who was head and shoulders above him. This year, there is no one head and shoulders above Mendoza.
Yes. And that's my point, is that this year's Heisman Trophy class.
So you don't hate the Heisman, you hate this year's class.
Jim, for the record, 2001.
Yes, Alex. What?
2001 was Eric Crouch. 2002 was Carson Palmer.
It's Palmer then. Palmer's only one
it's
thing.
Palmer.
So, I mean, we're obviously not going to resolve in like the overall argument here because it's going to persist and continue. That's the Heisman. That's going to continue to be the Heisman over and over, year over year. I do think this was an interesting year, right? There was nobody head and shoulders above. You had the number one team in the country with a quarterback who was not, knocking it out of the park every week. He was winning games, and you got to think of all the years that the Alabamas and Georgias also had quarterbacks that were game managers, and then they had all the skill players that did all the work, right? Those teams had that, and they weren't necessarily getting to the Heisman stage. But this year, lacking a skill player that just knocked it all the way out of the park, had some type of record-breaking season. You default to the quarterback on the best team in the country that did what he had to do when he had to do it. Like, I think that's just where we were. Also, next in the leadoff, we talked about this a little bit last Wednesday in the betting episode, but there's obviously been a little bit more that has happened. Sharon Moore in the fallout at Michigan. As follow-up to what we talked about before, officially Moore has been charged with home invasion in the third degree, stalking, and breaking and entering.
This is my favorite part. This is where Muff makes things that were official, but we're not going to be allowed to talk about the unofficial things.
Michigan has commissioned a full investigation into their athletic department in the wake of all of this. I asked the group, what types of findings do we expect to result?
It's going to take a while. So
I think when you hear this, I think the anticipation is they swept some shit under the rug and they just want to know for how long.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the initial, okay, they're going to go into the athletic department. That's what they're thinking, is how long did this shit go on before it got out?
It's going to be a lot on the AD. A lot on the AD. I think you're going to see the immediate handling of Sharon Moore's victim Muff. I don't know what word you want me to use.
Are you talking about the process that led up to his dismissal and how there was information out there that the athletic director should have handled it differently, had people in the room with him, maybe?
No. The female in that scenario got her salary doubled in that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the handling of, I'm trying to do the Muff thing here and not make false accusations or unverified accusations. The handling of that doubling of her salary, what led up to that, and then what led up to Sharon's dismissal off of that looks like a cover-up. Just on those facts.
A cover-up.
Yeah, something's fishy there.
A cover-up or a reward for actions that did not negatively impact Sharon Moore's career.
Correct. Gotcha. And if the AD knew, at what point did you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the relation to signing day is also going to come up. And then there's the scuttlebutt, and again, this is rumor and innuendo, that the text messages from the previous scandal, because Jim's not allowed to talk about the previous scandal.
Jim's not allowed to talk about cheating.
So the text messages that Sharon deleted, which is factual, were they tied to that scandal or were they tied to this scandal?
They have to be able to get the text. I mean, you in today's society, you think you 100% can get them.
So there's a lot of it's a web that they're going to try to untangle. And even if it's an independent investigation, how messy and who all is it going to take out? But the AD's probably gone. If I were him, I would be gone at the first of the year.
I would probably voluntarily leave just to
deuces.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to get any immediate resolution aside from some people maybe not being there, like the AD. So we will see how deep this runs and who all gets caught in the wake. But in the short term, who's going to be the next head coach? They have to bring somebody in from outside. Like internally, bringing somebody up is not in the
What's his
conversation.
name? Like Flippo Biggs or what was?
Well, that's who's
Bilbo
currently
Baggins.
been named the coach.
What'd you say?
Bilbo Baggins.
That's what my mind just goes to that immediately when I hear it, and then it was like an inappropriate word that sounds like Bilbo,
Yes,
and that's
go
where my
ahead.
mind went second, and I was like, "Don't say that."
I see them getting through the bowl game without announcing. I think bowl season will go through without announcing. But they will very quickly find someone. I want to say the Arizona coach at this point probably has the lead.
Kyle Whittingham's out there now.
Yeah,
He's not coming to you. He is not a Michigan man, and he's not dumb. And this,
Do they want a Michigan man right now?
it hasn't gone well for him.
There's not enough cleaning house though to get to that point. Is where I'm at. Like
Okay.
the current situation is still there to hire him, and they're Michigan men, and he's not. They need to clean house before a guy like him could step in.
Okay.
See my point?
So this investigation needs to wrap up before you have somebody like him come in. Nate?
Yeah, they cannot hire from within on this one.
No, it's got to be from outside.
No interim named head coach. There's no way.
So, at the risk of being dancing a very tight line, so please, guys, I'm sorry. I saw something. One of the pundits, an athlete, or a pundit, said that Sharon Moore has ruined Michigan's chance of ever hiring a black coach again.
I think
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of personalities out there.
No, I think Ryan Clark's an
asshole. Do you think Ryan Clark said that?
Ryan Clark said.
Wow, thank you. I needed somebody to clarify that.
Yeah, Ryan Clark said that. Stephen A. danced around it. Right, they've talked about that, and I mean, I've had other people have this discussion very broadly with me as well, and that's been the thought from the start. Is this is going to be an issue at Michigan for the foreseeable future, that you may not see a person of color be considered for a head coaching role. Is that right? No. Is that fair? No. Right? Merit is merit, and if you are the best candidate, you should be considered. But the perception is, I think, going to be there, right or wrong.
Do you really think
this happened with Bobby Petrino?
You're not wrong, Nate. I agree with you. Do you really think Michigan's going to have that train of thought, Muff?
Do I think Michigan will?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Michigan will be aware and cognizant of it. Do I think that they will act as these people that these pundits have been talking about? Do I think they will act on that alone? No, I do not think they will.
Right.
But I do think that will be a conversation, whether that is out loud or under people's breaths or not spoken within the room.
Right. What's that called? An unconscious bias?
Well, it would be very conscious bias, I think. I just don't think think it'll be spoken out loud. I think it'll be very conscious. It just won't be stated.
I don't know that that's true, and I'm an Ohio State fan. I want to think, and maybe and I'll probably get smoked down for this, but I want to think that a blue blood program like Michigan will actually go the opposite way. I want to think that way.
We can, right now, this is all speculation, projection on our own parts. The proof's going to be in the pudding here in the end, right? We're going to find out, what their actions are, how just they work through this hiring process. That's going to be really interesting. And not just for this hiring process, but is this a short-term fill, right? Are we trying to bring in somebody? Think about what Penn State did in the wake of Joe Paterno. Bill O'Brien came in. Everybody knew Bill O'Brien was going to be there forever, but he was a known entity. You knew what you're getting from him, and he was at least going to put the team in the right spot and move them in the right direction. Whether that was going to move the program, at that point, it didn't matter. We just need to make sure we save face, put somebody in there who's not going to hurt the program.
Yep. I want to think they're going to hire whoever the fuck will win and win fast.
Well, that's definitely part of that consideration. It has to be at Michigan, right? There's no other option.
because and again, this is that Columbus thing, like bleeding in my brain. They can't go through a drought right now against Ohio State. That killed the program. I mean, it absolutely did. After Lloyd Carr, before Harbaugh, that was miserable times in that football program for them. Great for Columbus, but miserable for them. They have to find somebody like Harbaugh, and no matter what they look like, they have to figure it out.
Yeah. Nate, over the weekend, we had some pretty intense and insane finishes in high school games. I want to know if you kept up with any of this, because some of them did involve some officiating discussions.
The only one that I can recall that I remember seeing was there was one where a kid missed a field goal that would have won the game. Team gets the ball back.
It was an extra point, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, you may be right. Might have been. Yeah, it was an extra point. Misses the extra point that would have, I think, tied the game. And then the opposing team gets the ball back after an onside kick and is going to run the clock out. And kid takes his helmet off and gets called for a 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
And then ends up they can't run the clock out. And I can't remember if they either turned the ball over, they had to punt it back.
They had to punt, and it was the shank of shanks.
Yeah, and they got the ball back in great field position. The kicker came back and kicked the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that was one. There were a couple Hail Marys that I saw. That was the one I was more curious about, was the one that you discussed, because it did involve some officiating situations. Obviously, the kid who tossed his helmet, that penalty was warranted. Just an odd situation happened at the end of the game, because it did kill the clock. And
between that one and the kid that did the fourth down thing, I was like sick.
Oh, you mean in the West Virginia game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that one, Jim? That one made its rounds.
I did not.
So West Virginia Quad A final. Morgantown's playing Martinsburg. Martinsburg's down, I think, a touchdown, and they're driving down the field. They're out of timeouts late in the game. And they have it, and it's 4th and goal or 4th and whatever at the +7. Kid spikes the ball on 4th down.
Yeah, like I said, it just that made me literally nauseous to think about. Like,
well, and I don't blame him whatsoever, because you watch the way the team reacted. You see the sideline. There was nobody on his team that knew it was 4th down.
No.
It was all like this realization in the moment after the fact. And then everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And then the quarterback realized it at the same time as everyone else, and was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, and of course he's going to put it all on himself, but it's not like anybody on the sideline was telling him what to do.
Exactly.
And then in the other games in West Virginia, I mean, the single A game, Wheeling Central, was not a close game at the end. The triple A game, team went for 2 to go for the win late and didn't get it. And then I think it was the double A game. It was tied. Team gets the ball back and runs a halfback pass. Guy's wide open down the sideline. Scores the game winner with 3 seconds left.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's always fun to see all of this. It's like the celebration and then like the absolute heartbreak all at the same time with these high school finishes. Because yes, it's exciting, but there's another team and there are a whole other group of players on the other side of the celebrations that didn't have that moment. And that's always that's rough.
And like physical errors at the end of a game don't really like bother me. I'm like, yeah, that sucks, but such is life. But when it was like mental errors, they get to me, because I'm like, you're going to beat yourself up more for that than like dropping a pass.
Yeah. But, all right, let's move into NFL Week 15, starting with Thursday Night Football, as we have Nate's Bucks falling to the Falcons 29-28. Nate, what are your thoughts?
They blow another fourth quarter lead. And then post game, Todd Bowles finally looks like the Todd Bowles you want to see all year long, where he gets a little fired up. I think they said he dropped 7 F-bombs in his post press conference, and it's about too late, Todd. This is the Todd Bowles we needed. Bruce Arians wouldn't have put up with this shit. So all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, well now we're 7-7 and we're not sitting in first place. Now I need to get a little upset." It's like, yeah, you should have been that fiery all year long.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Now, what he is behind closed doors, who knows? But in the media, he just seems to be like so calm, cool, collected, no emotion. And then finally it comes out. It's like, okay, now we need to build off of that energy, but who knows now?
Yeah. Like you said about 2 weeks ago, maybe you should have been using the media to his advantage. Maybe in the locker room he's like that, but if you don't say it in the media, then it may not have the same bite to the players and to the community.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving into Sunday action, the Bears take down the Browns 31-3. Jim?
Shooter!
I don't know if you can have that much excitement talking about him this
Yes, you
around.
can. I'm going to keep that energy up.
Okay, if he keeps playing like this, you're going to keep that energy up when he's playing in the CFL. I think sure there's 3 interceptions, and once again, late in the game, now understand this had nothing to do with the outcome of the game. Shedeur Sanders on a 4th and goal to go situation runs around for 7.5 seconds and doesn't even throw the ball in the end zone. Gets tripped up as he's doing his Shedeur thing, which worked in college. He's playing with grown men now. That's not going to work running around like he did. So the Bears do show out in this one. Caleb Williams, I think, is demonstrating that under Ben Johnson, he is the quarterback that everyone thought he could be. What are our overall sentiments on the Bears and moving towards the playoffs?
I'm consistently fairly impressed with them week in and week out. When you think about where they were, like, I think you have to put that in perspective. That, like, this isn't like, I'm not saying it about like a previous Chiefs caliber team, right? Like, the Bears have been bad, and I think that the trajectory they're on is good. It reminds me kind of like a little bit, I cautiously say, the Lions. Kind of got a good coach in there, got him back on the right track, and started trending upward. So I think Ben Johnson's a great fit there, and they've looked serviceable, and see where they go.
Nate?
I think we just need to see after this year, they're going to have sustained success. I mean, you look at a team like the Commanders. I mean, set the world on fire last year out of nowhere. I think the Commanders are kind of the same way. The Bears are kind of the same way this year with first-year head coach Ben Johnson. But, I mean, this is what you – like Alex said, when you draft Caleb Williams, who did what he did in college, won a Heisman, this is what you expect.
Yeah. Jim?
I hate the Bears, but I think they're going to have a big upside. I don't think this is a fluke thing.
Yeah. As long as Caleb Williams stays healthy and Ben Johnson stays there, right, I think they will at least be competitive year in and year out. The Ravens.
Like, I hope that if they do make a run and they stay good, I hope a lot of people come back and say we were wrong about Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, I mean he blew out. He's like the other side of being cocky of Diego Pavia. He did it in a very not subtle, but in a different way.
Humble.
Diego Pavia is in your face, like at all times. Middle finger to the world. Caleb Williams, his middle finger was the world, but it was in like subtle actions. That was part of it. But he had like this subdued cockiness, like that. It was flashy in its own way, and it wasn't vocal. It wasn't in your face as much.
He caught a lot of shit that at this
100%.
point probably wasn't deserved.
Right. The Ravens blank the Bengals 24-0. Maybe not the best game for the Ravens, but they get the win against a helpless and hapless Bengals team that has now have their fans calling for Zach Smith's job.
Yeah, Zach
Taylor.
Out of there.
Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor's job. Do we think that is fair at this point? Gone?
Get rid of him.
Alex, what do you think?
I mean,
Zach Taylor gone?
Don't think you can argue the other way.
It's tough right now. It also did not look like the team was playing. Like they weren't playing for each other. They weren't playing for the coaches, the coaching staff. It just looked like the Bengals have totally checked out.
Did you see the Bengals the Van Noy interception though? And he turned around and just like hands it off. I can't remember the name of the guy he handed it off to, but I was watching it at my dad's house and we were laughing. It's just like, I'm more of a blocker. Here, you take this.
Yeah, that was. I'm trying to think. Did that happen in like the Waterboy?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, where he's catching the like, all right, here.
Yeah, here. I think that was the one where he dropped to kick the other team in the end zone. But right, it was like one of those. Yeah, I know that I'm not the guy that's going to run 100 yards for this potential
No, but you look
score.
like you got potential.
You're a defensive back. I'm a linebacker that's like Ben was like his mid-30s, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
I'm not the guy that. Yeah. This is your moment, not mine. Have at it, buddy. I got the interception. I got my stat. You run with it.
Yeah,
that
it was
pretty
like
wild.
almost slow motion. Like he looked, he's like, "All right, good. Here, I'm just gonna hand this to you, and you go."
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like the Ravens, obviously, but it was a good play.
Yeah. The Chargers take down the Chiefs in this game, take down the Chiefs' playoff hopes for the season, and put Pat Mahomes probably out for at least half of next season at this point.
I don't know about all that. Medical degenerate. Do you think that's true?
It depends. I mean, the good news is, he's going to have all of the top people rehabbing him. The question will be, how much do they want to push it?
How long does it take
What's the
to come
normal
back from
recovery there,
ACL?
Alex?
I don't think he starts next
8 to 10
season.
months?
What?
8 to 10 months?
To get
months?
back to NFL caliber level, yes. I think that, the people I'm used to working with, they're not trying to play in the NFL again, right? They're trying to get up and walk into their office in the morning, and it's like, that's a different recovery process than what he's going to be expected to do on a reconstructed ACL. So, even if you're looking at, I could see where if you're looking at 8 months, August, I think he could be back next season. But I could also see him missing the first 3 or 4 weeks. I don't think it'll be all the way to the half point. I don't think it'll be a full year.
I think he's there week 2 at the latest.
Okay. Put that in
Going in the notes.
I'm more curious.
But in the
I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'm curious of where this comes out on the end.
Going in the notes.
That's the notes. Nate brought up a cool stat. This year's NFL playoffs will be the first without Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Patrick Mahomes since 1998. That's 27 years, guys. That we have lived
old.
through.
We're
old, but we have also lived through dominant and generational quarterbacks. Like the things that we have lived through time when these 3 quarterbacks have been in the league and have been competing at the highest level for Super Bowls every year. That's cool. So thank you for finding it. Bills take down the Patriots 35-31. Unfortunately, Jim, all great things. This is still good. Come to an end. The Patriots and the streak finally do go down. But we can say it was at the hands of newly expecting father Josh Allen and the Bills.
Yep, it's rigged.
It's not that the
I
Patriots
actually am not the one who said it was
bullshit
rigged.
teams for the past 8 weeks.
I'm not the one who said it was rigged, to be fair. I'm just going to roll with it.
Who said it was rigged?
Jim, here's something I saw that was rigged. To go back to the Chiefs, they said, okay, Mahomes torn ACL. He's going to take his time coming back, and then the NFL is going to gift the Chiefs Jeremiah Smith.
No. That's insane.
They find a way to get those receivers, Jim. You can't lie about that.
Insane. Now, Carnell Tate, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Who did say the Bills Patriots was rigged, Jim?
A coworker, Dusty.
Right? Because he realizes the Patriots have been playing nobody for the past 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Listen, Linda.
Has how many weeks?
With their last 8 games, I think the majority of them have been against nobodies.
Yeah, I think I do remember seeing like their strength of record or whatever. Like their opponents have a winning percentage under 50%.
Yeah, they got lucky and they finally met a team that was at the highest level with them, and they came out on the wrong side of it. Still a good game. There. Commanders 29, Giants 21. Moving on. Eagles 31, Raiders 0. Eagles blank Kenny Pickett and the Raiders. How much longer do we have Pete Carroll staying in Vegas?
3 games.
You really think so?
Yeah, it's the end of the season.
Fair play.
What do you get if you fire him now?
I don't know if I agree with that, but I can't disagree with it either.
All right. I think it's going to be an off-season firing as well. That's why I said, do we think he's going to make it to next season? That was the actual line there. Jaguars 48, Jets 20. Jags capitalizing on again a schedule not as strong, and
Yeah,
they
but
win the game that they're supposed to win convincingly.
not every team can say that. I mean, it's not. I feel like in the NFL, it seems like that's not a given all the time. I feel like we see upsets a lot. I mean, not that it was upset, but like think about like Seahawks Colts today. We expected the Seahawks to roll them. They've been on a heater. So I mean, yeah, the Jags aren't playing anyone, but it seems like they're actually like, I mean, to win by 28 in the NFL is a significant win. So they are handedly taking care of the teams that they should take care of.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
calling on a PGA player quote: "This ain't a hobby." Right? Everybody's professional. Everybody's showing up. Everyone's getting paid.
Yep.
Texans 40, Cardinals 20. Texans do the same thing the Jags did. They
Yep.
beat up on a team that they were supposed to beat.
Yep. I agree with that.
Feeling any different about your Texans after this week, Jim?
There's still hope. There's still hope.
They're in a good spot right now. Rams 41, Lions 34. Points in this one. Rams come out on top. Unfortunately for the Rams, it looks like Devontae Adams is going to be down, I would say, for at least a couple weeks. Many fear, I don't think it's been confirmed yet, that he re-aggravated and potentially tore his hamstring in this one. If that is the case and he's out for the rest of the season and maybe 1 or 2 weeks to the playoffs, how will this impact a Rams playoff run?
They rely pretty heavily on their pass game.
Yeah, I think it really is going to affect the red zone. Because, I mean, that's just where Devontae's going to eat in his red zone.
Yeah, and my thoughts are even when he's even outside the red zone, he's pulling somebody away. I mean, you're not going to leave Devontae Adams covered by a weakling. So I think that losing him allows the defense to cover some of the other guys a little better.
Well, I mean, you got to think Devontae Adams there pulls people away from Puka Nacua, right? That's been their two-headed monster. Now at the end, Kobe Parkinson did some good stuff towards the end of that game. But I think it's much easier to key on Puka Nacua and figure out Parkinson than it is the other way around.
Yeah.
The Lions with this loss do fall out of the playoffs at this time. So they're on the outside looking in at this point in the playoffs. Jim?
Quarterback for the Lions. Name escapes me.
Jared Goff.
Did not look great in that second half. When he's forced to try to score points, it's like his back goes up against the wall and it's not great.
Yeah, it was back and forth in that first half, and then the Rams pulled away, and then the Lions made a run coming back, just too little, too late.
Yeah.
And another key game in the playoff picture: the Broncos take down the Packers 34-26. With this win, the Broncos clinch their division, sit atop the AFC. Bad news, worse for the Packers. Fear a torn ACL for Micah Parsons.
That's bad poop.
It is bad poop whenever we have Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons go out with torn ACLs in 1 week.
Yeah. Christian Watson also went out for this one in the Packers. Fear that there may be multiple weeks missed with that injury as well. So insult to injury, Packers lose, and they may lose their best defensive player and a receiver they just recently got back in full.
I was going to say, he's always hurt.
You know what this does, though?
Yeah.
Makes Jerry look like a genius.
I don't know if a freak injury makes Jerry look like a genius.
You want to bet he makes it out that way?
I understand what he's going to do in the media, but I don't think he can sit there with a crystal ball and say, I knew he was going to get hurt.
I knew all along. Just like I knew them whales were going to strike oil. I had a feeling.
He's definitely had some type of feeling. Saints 20, Panthers 17.
Thanks, New Orleans.
Nate's happy. That was a good thing for Nate. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything to talk about here. 49ers 37, Titans 24. In this game, we had backdoor cover to backdoor cover. Titans with a field goal late in the game. The 49ers were in a position where they had to either kick a field goal or go for a touchdown late in the game. They chose to kick the field goal, which put the 49ers back to cover that game. So,
oh, wait. Can we go back to the Rams game? I just remembered. There was a touchdown, Nate. I don't know if you saw it, where they fell on the one and they called it a touchdown. And then they reviewed it and they called it a touchdown. And everyone, the fans, the coaches, everyone was like, what? Even the team, the Rams.
I did not.
The Rams coaching staff was like, okay, thanks. Shouldn't have been, but we'll take it.
Yeah. Nate, I'll try to break this down for you. A pass down the sideline.
I found it.
You found it? Yeah. So I think the way that they tried to wrap this into some type of logic was he caught the ball but did not gain possession until he had crossed the goal line.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It honestly looks like he bobbles it a little bit when he first goes down, and then he regains it as he's sliding into the end zone.
Yeah, but it's
like you said, that's the one
the
that
announcers, everybody was like, "There's no way. Oh yeah, this is gonna be down like inside the one." And then they came back and said, "Ruling on the field stands." And everybody's like, "Wait, what?"
Crazy.
Yeah, I can see why.
All right, then explain it to me in Nate terms.
So he goes down at the one, right, has the ball, but he clearly loses possession of it, and then he regains possession as he's in the end zone.
So
the ball never hits the ground.
People, right?
How is it a catch then?
No, you can't because the ball never hits the ground.
Okay.
Think about it like as much as you don't like baseball, Jim. You're running down in the outfield to catch a fly ball. The ball hits you in your glove, but you don't firmly catch it at first, and you bob it, and it goes up in the air, and you catch it a second time. It's the same concept.
Okay.
Ball never hits the ground. It's where does he gain control?
And because he's sliding in and he regains it, that's a touchdown.
And because the ball never hit the ground, and yeah, he could be juggling it while he's laying on his back. It's where he gains firm control of the ball and possesses it.
All right. I'll buy that logic.
All right, Seahawks 18, Colts 16. We almost pulled this one out for old Grandpa Rivers. Colts made a 60-yard field goal late, only to have the Seahawks nail a 56-yarder, take the lead, and seal the win. We have the clip all over the internet of Philip Rivers sliding down and then getting back up as you would expect a 44-year-old to get back up. That was one of the best clips of the day.
So
But hey, he gave him a chance to win.
He did.
Crazy as it is, he's 44. He was in Alabama coaching, and it's like, hey, buddy, we need you to come play. You know this offense. It's like, bet.
We all
and he kept him in it.
Situation. But I just saw that his insurance runs out at the end of this year. Had he not come out of retirement, now he gets another 5 years of insurance.
Well,
he was a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, he's got that clock gets moved back to the Hall of Fame now too.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, still take the insurance. It's America.
That's true. That's true. But this was the storyline going into the weekend, right? The fun storyline, and he didn't disappoint, right? He solid game. I've got to imagine he gets Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off.
I had a laugh. I had the Seahawks to cover in this game, and once it was like obvious they weren't going to cover, I immediately flipped script and was rooting for them to pull out the win. But how can
Alex? I will say that I was exactly in the same spot as you.
Yeah. Once I knew we weren't covering, I was like, yeah. At this point, I just want to see him get the W and be like, yeah, F you guys, I can still sling it. And I mean, he threw for at least one touchdown. Josh Downs. Yep. It was a short touchdown, but he threw for a touchdown at 44 years old. So
yeah, there was a lot of speculation and not to say controversy, but definitely a lot of discussion about why Philip Rivers, Cam Newton came out and said he was pissed off that he didn't get a phone call. But the reality ultimately is he knows the offensive coordinator, ran the same system in his high school program, and obviously
Muff.
played at the Colts.
Muff.
Yeah.
Jim.
Fuck all that. This isn't not about that logic. This isn't about black or white. Cam Newton, you're a fucking asshole. That's why you didn't get called. Fuck you. That's
I wasn't
why.
even going down the color route there, Jim. I was just saying that
No, I know how it's gonna be. I'm clearing the way. It's not about the logic that he knew the system. It's not about black or white. It's not about anything other than Cam Newton is a fucking asshole. I wouldn't call him either. Fuck you.
There we go.
Stop wearing them goofy ass hats. Stop making a scene.
Who's the old man on the porch now? I'll move over. There's room on my porch swing.
I'm pretty sure on your show you sit there and you smoke weed or smoke something openly. I don't want somebody like that coming to be a quarterback. You're an asshole. No.
All right. I do want to remind you, Jim, that you were all behind Cam Newton when he played in New England.
I agree, but you've ruined it since.
Okay. He has ruined any not fandom, but any support you had for him.
Yeah.
All right.
He's always stirring shit.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying he's bad at his job.
I don't
But
want
his
to.
He
job
does
is
have
no
some
longer
good
NFL
takes, but this
quarterback.
one was not.
His job is
Yeah.
no longer NFL quarterback, so no longer your sphere to be in, buddy. In other news in the NFL, going into Monday Night Football, Miami versus Pittsburgh, the Steelers will be without J.J. Watt, who was involved in a dry needling incident that resulted in a collapsed lung. Alex, we're going to need you to break a little bit of this down for us.
So I don't know what part of his body was getting needled, but the one that I saw in practice was somebody getting a shoulder needled, and our lungs actually go up above our clavicle, so the apex of your lung is above.
See,
And sometimes people start needling in there and needle a little too far and puncture that pleura. And you let air basically into the pleural space and it pushes the lung. And that's when they call it like a popped lung. It's not really the lung itself necessarily all the time, but basically there was air where there shouldn't be in his chest, compromising his breathing. So I don't know how bad it was. I don't know the location of what they were doing, but that's the concept.
I thought I saw they said there was speculation that it was dry needling in his back.
Which it would make sense. But they needled too far.
Too much needling,
Too much
Jim.
needling.
This was not the same as Tyrod Taylor.
Wait, I have something to add.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm going to add something. Okay, so I get dry needled
Oh,
Yeah.
Great.
in my back.
Great.
And I had to sign a release the first time that said that I know that I could get a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
Like he makes everyone sign if you're dry needling your back. So
When's your next time you're doing this?
shut up.
Maybe he was worried. He wanted to take off
I
to make
mean,
sure
there's
you're
no reason
okay.
to come down on Nate. He's concerned.
He's not.
He
He's
just shook
hoping
his
that I
head.
get a collapsed lung.
He's not. Well,
outta here.
good. That was good
I'm
information,
baking you
actually.
cookies.
I know. Get out of
That is good to know.
Yeah,
that
see,
there
it was good
is-
information.
Good work,
there
Sam.
is
That was
I
quite
had the
the
experience.
In her defense, we haven't had a snippet in a while, and that was a good snippet.
It was a snippet.
was
Live
just
looking
gonna say
Cowboys
that.
Vikings.
Commercial break, 14-14.
How's JJ McCarthy doing? Because I need him for some fantasy stuff.
He just had a 1-yard rushing touchdown to tie the game.
All
And
right.
he has a passing touchdown.
That put me over the top, boys. Making it to the semifinals in the Big Money League.
Ew.
I picked up JJ McCarthy today for this game. Looks like it's going to pay off. Not
To
many
replace
times
who?
anything so. I actually started him over Jordan Love today. We call that fantasy football acumen right there, boys. As long as it pays off, which I think it will. All right, that brings that out of the NFL and into college football. Obviously, we didn't have much going on over the weekend, but we did have Navy beating Army 17-16. And what I will call the coin toss and not the coin flip.
Yeah.
Nate, I need to know, is there any official distinction? Is it a coin toss or a coin flip at the beginning of the game?
Toss.
And then I think people have been doing it wrong for a lot of years. And Mr. President Donald J. Trump may be the first person that I've seen actually do a coin toss and not a coin flip.
I mean, in the rule book and mechanics manual, it's called a coin toss, but everybody knows you flip with your thumb just like you normally would.
I think he read the manual and read it very, very objectively to be that as a toss, because this is what happens.
Well,
any other thoughts on that game? I mean, it was an exciting game. I watched the second half of this, and it was definitely a fun watch. Anybody else watch?
I watched the end.
Oh yeah, it was a great game. Definitely a bucket list game.
Alex?
I watched the last quarter. It was a good game.
Yeah. Jim?
I did not.
Okay. We had some drama there at the end, Nate, where you had the Navy almost turnover at the end to give Army the ball back. That was fortuitous and definitely kept some people in their
Yeah,
toes.
where that Columbus quarterback had fumbleitis.
Nate did it to you this time, Jim.
Jim, for the record,
Right.
Navy's quarterback
I
went
stopped
to
listening to him.
He doesn't listen to anything bad that could be
the Navy
said
quarterback
about
from
him.
Columbus, and he had fumbleitis.
All right. Washington beats Boise State 38-10. That was the second official bowl game on Saturday night. I don't even remember what bowl it was, but it was on our bowl sheet with Navy.
The something LA Bowl.
That was the LA Bowl. I think it was the last.
This was Gronk's Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't this the one that Gronk's in charge of?
I think, yeah, he's a personality for it. Then we had South Carolina State earlier in the day beating Prairie View A&M 40-38 in 4 overtimes. There was definitely a controversial call in this one. We definitely showed this to Nate along the way. This was one of the 2-point plays, Nate. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. What were your thoughts on this? Because everyone all over the map said there's no way that ball got in the end zone.
Well, I challenge anybody to go and do this game live in full speed to start. But when I watched it live, I thought touchdown or 2-point whatever. And then you break it down slow-mo and different camera angles. I'm like, all right, that ball definitely did not get inside the pylon. But from the camera angles they showed, they didn't have like the pylon cam. They didn't have one shot straight down the line, or at least that they showed on TV. So it did make it more challenging to say, okay, we've got that look that without a shadow of a doubt, 1,000% says no touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was tough to overturn the call on the field in this one, unless, like you said, they did have an angle that we did not see as viewers. But we've got a lot more college football coming up this week. I'm not going to get into all the games. There'll be more for the betting shows breakdown on Wednesday. Might have to be Thursday, boys. Yeah, Alex and I have something to do Wednesday night. Sorry about it. So that'll come later this week. Other college football talk. We already mentioned this. Kyle Whittingham out at Utah said he will coach the bowl game. I know I made a statement about Michigan. Where else, if not Michigan, where could we see Kyle Whittingham end up?
I don't know.
Do you think?
I think if he's out at Utah, he's retiring. He's done.
That was my thought. I was going to say he's either retiring or I don't know. I don't know.
TV
Yeah,
guy. I can see him on the TV.
Yeah, he could definitely. I mean, he could make some guest spots on Game Day, Fox. Like he could just be a private contractor in that way and find a niche to start, and then maybe find a full-time role later on. I can see that, Jim. I like that thought.
Yep.
He's definitely a personality.
yeah.
100%. I have a thought, gentlemen. I have joined the people on the porch. I am out
Oh, good.
on the whole transfer portal and college football situation now regarding the transfer portal, all the news that breaks around it, because now we have Adam Schefter breaking news that there are quote unquote deals with players now. This is where I draw the line when we have breaking news about deals with players in college football.
Yeah.
When we start calling them deals, you've lost me. It is no longer about anything else. I'm done. I'm done with the transfer portal.
There's a spot for everyone on the porch. It's just a matter of when they decide to step on up.
Stepping up, clear the spot, do my rocking chair on that goddamn thing. I'm
in. Good.
There's always room on. We should have a T-shirt design with just the four of us on a porch.
That's Harper and Company.
That is SSJM Porch Guys.
Yep.
That's it. I'm in. Nate, you in?
Nate's been on the porch with me.
Yep.
All right.
It's you and Jim were the ones not on my porch.
That's true. And a couple big deals that have yet to be inked, but are definitely on the verge of happening, all related to my whole getting on this porch situation. The Big 12 is reportedly about to sign or on the verge of signing a $500 billion deal with private equity firms Redbird Capital and Weatherford Capital that will add over $30 billion as a line of credit to each school in the conference.
Wow.
And the shit of this is the Big Ten was in a similar situation, and Michigan USC is shitting on it.
Because they already have a line of credit at their own institutions. They don't want, that's a risk for them, right? That's a financial risk for them. This is where we are right now, where you are bankrolling and having these private equity firms put up money for money on the back end. This is Shark Tank, college football style.
Yep.
Yeah, if the money is just being raised independently by small businesses in your area, whatever, I don't like it, but like now we're getting too far in.
See, this is why I'm not on the porch with you. I don't see the distinction between the two. I don't see the difference. Like, why is it good for small business but not good for equity firms?
Because I think that this whole thing started as name, image, and likeness. So it started for me as saying, hey, we're going to use them as advertising and things like that, and we're going to give them a percentage of what they earn for us. And now it's just turning into a salary.
I disagree with your take 1,000%.
That's fine. We usually do.
But I don't think that you know enough. So like, I want to give you a different perspective before I let you go down that route. If I'm an athlete and I am beholden to a car dealership, and I'm just picking a car dealership, I have to make appearances. I can only drive a certain car. I can only do certain things with that dealership. Okay. So the school, there's no regulation over that relationship. It's just the player and that dealership.
Okay.
In this situation, while it is huge and goes against the amateur athlete system we all agree with, and goes against, you're going to school. I agree with all your points there.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of the athlete, the school will control the money, and the relationship remains athlete to the school.
So what is the, like, I don't understand. If the athlete is choosing to go do independent business in order to profit, why does it have to go through the school?
The car salesman, for instance, let's take Ohio State. If NIL was a thing back in the day, that tattoo artist, the jersey trading, the tattoos, all of that shit, it's between an 18-year-old kid and a grown-ass adult the business exchanges.
So when I was 18
that's not
years
entirely
old,
accurate right now. That's not entirely accurate. At these large programs, these NIL collectives are
Hold
funneling the
on, Muff.
money in and then
Hold
pushing
on,
it out.
Muff. I'm not at that point. I'm saying what Alex wants.
so when I was 18 years old, I went to work and showed up to work and did what I was supposed to do and got paid for it. No one had to babysit me and make sure I was okay.
Correct. As a whatever you were as an 18-year-old kid, not somebody who the world wants a piece of you.
But
Jeremiah
that's not
Smith is not flipping burgers for McDonald's.
okay. But what are we protecting him from by
Being
saying
taken advantage of by a small business owner.
sign a contract?
But an 18-year-old kid reading a contract and not being hustled, Marv Harrison, and
We let 18-year-olds take out thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for student loans on their own.
we could argue higher education and student lending all day long.
I'm saying, like, I think that in other situations, we let 18-year-olds, once you're 18, you make those choices. I don't feel the same. Like, if you want to profit and you want to do this, you need
I don't
to manage yourself,
your
or take some of your profits and hire a business manager who's going to manage those things for you.
We've seen business managers go wrong in adults. I agree with you. I agree. I see your stance.
Yeah.
I'm not totally against it. I want you to understand that, like, there is some level of insurance when a school's handing out the cash.
So what if I went back to say I don't really care about the school handling the money versus a private thing handling the money, but we're still going back to used car salesman giving them X amount of money and saying, like, hey, I'm going to use your athlete for X, Y, and Z. We'll pay you. You pay them. Fine. Yep. Versus someone just giving you money to give you money for no reason. Just to play football. I'm like, the point to me of NIL was you are using your name, image, and likeness to advance something, even if it's saying the university wants to sell T-shirts with your face on it. I believe you should get a point of that some of that profit. Fine, yep. That's fine. But just to be like, hey, come play for me, I'll give you $50,000.
Sure.
Where on paper are we saying that that's using your name, image, likeness? Even if they were trying to argue it with, like, we made X amount of money on our football games this year.
Yep.
So you were saying you brought in so much because you did these X, Y, and Z interviews to boost hype about it. So we're going to pay for that. That would go back to name, image, likeness. I have a problem just saying, let's just give you a salary.
I agree with you there. And these conferences are getting a big line of capital to make it so WVU can pay equal amount of money to the same amount of money Bowling Green can pay.
But how's WVU ever going to pay that back though if they borrow it?
That's the problem I have is you get this huge line of credit and not all schools financially can pay it back. So are you setting some of these programs up for long-term debt that then puts not just the athletic program but also the schools in the tank?
Yes.
So that's where the conference has to intercede and supersede and say, you have access to this line of credit, but you have to demonstrate to us as a conference why you deserve to have this at this time if you're requesting.
Correct.
Yeah, I guess that's it. It just seems like now it's turning into just business transactions instead of like saying, hey, and I still didn't love it, but I understood where you're like, okay, these kids are making a lot of money. And like, if you want to sell, like do something out of the way of selling like a jersey or having their names actually on the NCAA video games versus the number and whatever, fine. But like now I just feel like it's gotten completely out of hand to where it's just turning into a professional sport. And I hate it.
That's not even just professional sport, it's professional business. When you have equity firms involved, it's because they see billions on the back end. So this isn't about the furtherment of the programs of the student athletes. It's about money. It is only about money when equity firms get involved.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. And you're right. I admittedly have talked more than once about how like business is not my strong suit.
Right.
It's just I don't like the sentiment behind what's happening anymore.
That to me, like, there's our argument as a show. If we want to be the old men on the porch, is like, this is school. Like, this is school. It started as school.
Yep.
And it's gone way beyond school. And like I think where we all differ, I don't know Nate's opinion a lot, but where we all kind of differ and not by much is like I'm more of the fuck it, take it out of school, let's have the minors. Like let's just go let them play football. They don't have to go to school. I'm the Cardale Jones part of this. I think the rest of you may differ slightly than that, but like let's stop having the facade of school. That's a joke we're all telling ourselves. We're using that to fund school.
Like, well, and that's dead. When was the last time you saw someone not be able to play for academic suspension or something?
Right. What
like it's dead anyway.
But we're using it as recruitment tools for other departments.
Right. I'm going to step in and push back slightly. At the highest of the highest levels, that is the reality, right? What you just said, Jim. There is also the non-Power 5 schools, the G5, the Power 4 about to be officially, right? The G5, and you've got Division 2 and Division 2 is where I really come into this thinking.
Yeah.
Because you do have student athletes that get opportunities they may not have otherwise by participating in college athletics, get some scholarship money, pursue an education where that may not have been financially feasible otherwise, or it had never been a thought in their mind, oh, I can get a college education because I'm, good enough at this sport to compete at Division 2 level. Sweet. Why wouldn't I try?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where I differ the most is at the top of the top, that is what it is. It's minor league football. But when you get outside of that, there are student athletes, right, in the bottom 50 of each roster that are grinding it out because they have an opportunity they wouldn't have had.
Yep.
That's fair.
I think D1 needs its own setup.
Yeah. Nate, what are your thoughts? Share in 20 words or less. Not that I would expect you to use more than 20 words anyway.
I would like, we need to, in at least 15 words, all that.
I mean, it's a lot right now that I would have to like really sit down and like look at it all and see. But I mean, it is getting to the point where these deals are just outrageous. It's like we said before, like these guys are signing deals or whatever to come back to school. Like, come on.
I think it was like 30 plus. All right.
Good job, man.
We did it. We cracked it. Similarly, we don't need to go down the same whole train of thought here, but Utah is entering into potentially what reportedly could be a $500 million equity partnership with Atra Capital, which will feature the creation and shared ownership of a for-profit entity to operate athletics. So that's
I'm interested solely in that school can generate $500 million in equity for its athletic department. Utah, like that's interesting to me.
Well, yeah, but again, this is almost like subcontracting out your athletic operation, not operations, but your investment strategies and everything like that. Like that's what ultimately it comes down to. I think is you may not have to put that 500 million equity fully up front, but you have to demonstrate that it's worth $500 million over a time period. Would be my guess. I mean, you could put up the value of your campus and everything like that if you wanted to, if you really believed in it. But I have a feeling it's more looking at the 20 to 30-year balance sheet, not balance sheets, but the revenue, profit, loss statements and everything that you get into. So, all right. Move to other interesting news in sports.
Interesting news in
sports.
Starting in the hockey world, the Penguins trade goaltender Tristan Jarry and forward Sam Poulin to the Oilers for goaltender Stuart Skinner, defenseman Brett Kulak, and an Oilers 2029 second-round pick. Nate, I know you're probably most up to date with this, so what do you think of this trade for both the Penguins and the Oilers?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no, we suck again. We finally got to like the thing that I wanted Nate to talk about.
Try again, Nate. Damn.
Oh,
Jarry was going to get traded no matter what. It was
just Jarry was going to get traded no matter what. It was just. Oh, we'll never know what it was just.
Oh, he's on like a 5 to 10 second delay, not like a 2 second delay. Son of a biscuit. All right. Well, Tune in next weekend for Nate's thoughts on this trade.
We're going to have to teach him sign language. We can read out while he signs to us what he means.
That'd be good. In the NASCAR world, going off of some more business-related functions here, Alex, just for you. Michael Jordan's 23, is it 2321, 2311?
2311.
23X1. 2311. Racing and Front Row Motorsports reached a settlement with NASCAR in, quote, a way that will benefit the industry going forward, end quote. Jordan's team claimed that NASCAR abused its monopoly power over premier stock car racing and harmed the organization as a whole. Since I know that you are deeply involved in the NASCAR world, Jim, what do you think of this settlement and what do you think will happen moving forward?
I don't know all the details. This is one of those business situations where like I'm not the greatest. I can give you a rough reaction, and that's I think the charter system, which was everybody had to have a charter to be an owner. If you didn't have the charter, you had to race your way in. I think that charter system is going to be adjusted, and the terms of those charters are going to be adjusted. The bigger news, and I'll recon this and I'll give you a full update in a couple weeks, but the bigger news out of this court case was there was a lot of tea spilled in court from depositions and a lot of ongoing business, who had money where, what teams are fluid and not fluid. I think a lot of that fallout's going to blow up in their face. I think the handling of money and the monopoly, and it was a monopoly in NASCAR. I think that good old boy system might have just got at least shaken up, if not rocked to its core.
Right. So to put this potentially more simply, and I don't know if this is more simple or not, is basically NASCAR was selling franchises. The franchises being these teams. Yes. Right? These racing teams.
Well, no, they weren't selling it so much as, hey, you guys have the franchises. You have a piece of paper. That's your franchise.
That was your access to NASCAR.
Correct.
Right? So they had access to franchises where they could operate their team within the corporate structure. Right? That's what was going on. The teams were saying it is damn near impossible for us to be profitable with the system you have in place right now. That's the whole antitrust.
Yeah.
So Jordan finally was like, screw it. We're just going to take him to court and see what falls out. And something fell out.
Yeah, that's simple. That's a good way to simplify it for now. The Jordan situation gets a little bit more complex because I'm not 100% sure if it was, because I don't know if he had a full-blown charter or if it was, hey, you have your charter, you got to pay money to keep it. And he was like, it's mine. I don't know. I'll read into it. But he was the one challenging the charter system. And in doing so, he uncovered the dirt of years and years and years and future.
Yeah. NASCAR messed with the wrong multi-billionaire in this particular case.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. And he took some L's too. I mean, there weren't a lot of some other stuff got blown up. Like some of his text messages where he basically bashed his other owner, Denny Hamlin. And he took some punches to the face. But again, I think he's Michael Jordan and like he doesn't care. So whereas I think some of these old school owners in NASCAR, they fucking cared.
Yeah.
Richard Childress is he was trying to sell part of his charter. He's looking to sell in the future. And some of the shit that got revealed could have hurt that sale. And he had to reveal it. And the NASCAR lawyers pulled it out too. Like, hey, Richard, you're trying to sell, huh? And he was like, whoa, you're not supposed to say that. So like the old school guys got their shit rocked.
Yeah. Alex, does that breakdown help you a little bit with the situation?
Yeah, a little bit. As much as business and NASCAR are not my two fine points, but
I'll bring some more tea to you and I'll explain it better.
Got it.
All right. Jim found this little tidbit. Flow Sports has ranked Ohio State over Penn State in the team wrestling rankings. Penn State still reigns supreme in the NCAA Wrestling Coaches Association rankings.
I'm going to take my win right now. Just right now. And we'll see how it shakes out. Ohio State is on the come up. I think in the age of NIL, it's always a good thing when your school is on the come up. I do not doubt Penn State's dominance, though. Not one bit.
Yeah, I saw this and I actually got in the comments when you shared that. And I guess Flow Sports, number one, a little bit more of a clicky type of organization anyway with their news stories. But I guess the way that they rank these teams is based on current wrestlers and their rankings, which may not reflect like many schools, not just Penn State, when they've got some of the hammers sitting like that are like, I don't really need to come out of the woodworks until like January or February here. Like, I'm only going to wrestle when I want to wrestle or need to wrestle for the team. And I think that's where I think Flow is following their system, but their system is not taking into account like the big picture.
Yeah. Wrestling is obviously it started the season for high school. Wrestling is one of those weird sports where like you don't come out of the woodwork and like you said, and you're not going to sit your weight necessarily just yet. And it's a very odd sport. So, like I said, I'm going to take my win right now.
That's okay. It is there. It is there for the taking. And last, another inch of news in sports, the volleyball world. It is that time of the year.
We talk about a lot.
It is that time of the year. Nebraska, a team in women's volleyball that has been elevated for not just what they've been doing this year, but in really the past 5-ish years that it's been on our radar. Their unbeaten season today on Sunday came to an end. They had only dropped 7 sets the entire season, had not lost at home since 2022. Wow. That all ended today with a loss to Texas A&M in 5 sets that included a 4-set final score of 37-35. Remembering they played 225, win by 2.
Wow.
How tired are you after that?
So tired.
It's a lot of jumping up and down, moving around, having to pull yourself off the court, right? There's a lot going on right there. That's a lot of quick motion all at once for, I would imagine, 2.5 hours.
Is this men or female?
This is women. This is women's volleyball.
So I like when shit like this happens, like South Carolina basketball, Nebraska volleyball, because like athletically, they're probably on point with men in the D1 thing that we talk, like D1 basketball teams, D1 football teams. Like there's some dogs in there on those teams. Okay. Like you don't want to fight some of these ladies. I've seen some Nebraska volleyball players, and like I'm not fighting them. Like they're like 6'1", a reach of like 5 foot. Like no.
Well, 6'1", I hope the reach is more than 6'1".
I'm talking about one arm, like 5 foot. They can hit.
Oh, one arm reach. You're talking wingspan versus reach, which is with puncher's reach. That's what
5 foot away. They're just gonna hit me. I'm done. Like they're just giants.
Yeah, but I saw this. This was cool. I actually saw this like somebody that I know posted that it was going on, and I was like, "Ooh, let me look into this." And then I saw how the outcome, what the conclusion was, and I was like, "Ooh, this is a fun little tidbit."
Yeah,
like there's a lot, and this was the quarterfinals of the national tournament, right? So they didn't even make it to the semis, and they were far and away one of the teams that everyone just assumed was going to walk into the finals this year.
Crushing.
So. All right. Anything else, gents?
No,
I don't have anything.
All right. That wraps up this week's episode.
Hold on. The board just came out and gave a giant long speech about how he does not. What is today's date?
He did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Right. He is fully committed to the program of Alabama and is looking to continue as the head coach of Alabama. He is outright saying, I ain't going to Michigan.
I didn't know that. One of the names that people were speculating.
See, you guys didn't know that?
It just seemed weird to me. Like Like he
was
doesn't
on
seem
the
like
list.
someone who. Why would you leave? I know, but why would you leave Alabama to go to Michigan? I guess is my.
Because Michigan was gonna. The thought was Michigan was gonna roll up the Brinks truck. And
Fair enough.
That was what he was gonna do. I mean, the pundits were saying they had to go for DeBoer.
Yeah, you got to shoot your shot there, whether or not you win.
I thought was ridiculous. Like the program's not ready for all that, but whatever.
All right, that wraps it up. As always, make sure you follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding ding.
Get the bell on as we head into the holiday season. Hopefully, it's the jingle bells. And when you hear those jingle bells, make sure you tell a friend, make a friend, be a friend.